Ciao everyone, it's Alyssa coming at you with another slow fashion video. This week it's the second Sunday of the month, so that means another outfit envy recreation video where I take looks that I find online and I recreate them using what I already have in my closet. I think this is the best way to prove to yourself that a little bit of creativity can go a super long way in terms of reducing your consumption while also coming up with new looks that you probably haven't thought of before in your own closet. So if you are new, welcome. If you are coming back, thank you so much for coming back and watching. And if you purchased a ticket to my live Shop Your Closet studio session, then thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot. If you missed it in last week's video, I announced that I am launching a live studio where the first one is going to be a Shop Your Closet session. So I'm going to go over shopping two different closets. So two ladies who have very different body types than I do. Their closets and clothing is very different than mine. So you'll get to see a very different perspective and learn about the styling techniques that I would use with them. But what's even more cool about this, I think, is that you'll get to be part of the conversation. So you'll be able to interact with other participants, put your 2 cents in about how you would style these ladies and shop their closets for the looks that we've chosen, and ask questions in real time. So I just thought it was more of an enhanced and engaged way to get what you already hopefully get out of this kind of video, but you know, with some more virtual interaction thrown in. I am hosting the studio on November 14th at 1 p.m. and all the details for tickets are in the description box below. Of course, if you have any questions, please just let me know. I'm going to pop an email down there as well. This is the first live virtual studio session that I'm doing, but there will be more going forward. So again, all the details are in the description box below. I hope to see you in there. And with that being said, let's jump on into the video. Today's first look is brought to us by Abby Marvel. I love Abby's style. It's very minimal, but there's always a really cool elegance to it. And I've chosen this look here because I thought it was really good to be converted either for the warmer weather, as she has it pictured here, but I can also convert it into my snow-laden yard that I am staring at right now. I can't believe it. Anyway, before jumping into my closet and pulling out pieces, I really try to break down the look so that I can pull out style elements that I can manipulate to my own lifestyle and personal style and climate, for example. And that way I kind of create more of a blueprint for myself than focusing in on the pieces that she has that I don't. So the first kind of style element that I look at is the style vibe or the overall genre of the look. In this case, I already mentioned it, but definitely a minimal element, very classic, timeless. Elegance, I want to say, is definitely portrayed in this look. I also want to say there is an element of utilitarian in there with a mix of just a very nice classic feminine look. I think those utilitarian pockets on the dress and the structure of it make it feel a little bit more functional, but the fact that it's got a nice cinched waist, that kind of brings it to the juxtaposition of the feminine side. So although it's a very simple look, there are a lot of ways to describe it. The next thing I look at are the silhouette and proportion. This has everything to do with the overall shape that we're seeing in the outfit, and when it comes to the proportions, I'm looking at longer or shorter hemlines, or perhaps there's volume used in certain places to either enhance or change the proportions of someone's body. So here in the silhouette, what we're looking at is a great structure, clean lines, and that's applicable from head to toe. So this dress doesn't have any silhouettes that, you know, have tension with each other. It's really uniform up and down. The other thing that I can see here with silhouette is that she's got a nice thick belt that's cinching in her waist. And when it comes to the proportions, I would say they are fairly balanced. We've got a mid-length sleeve and a mid-hem, so that really looks balanced on top and bottom. And the other piece with proportions is that the belt does seem to be sitting a little bit higher, so it's got a nice elongating effect with that midi. And I think that's important because if you've got a little bit of a longer skirt, you kind of want to emphasize that length. Finally, I look at the styling hacks of an outfit, and this really has to do with all of those finishing touches, like how they're working their accessories, how they're tying a scarf or cuffing a shirt, to, you know, how someone uses color. So in this case here, I think obviously we're looking at a monochromatic palette with a pop of color in the shoes, and I think that's so much fun and it's a really easy look to achieve. And I think another styling hack could be that the belt is in the same color as the dress. So while it is doing a great job of cinching the waist, it's not being overly dramatic in, you know, adding this proportion to the look. If she really wanted to add some drama, she could have changed the belt to something a little bit more contrasting. So that monochrome palette keeps it looking really sleek and allows the shoes to shine. And she's really kept it simple with her accessories, just a nice pair of ladylike pearls. And I think that was deliberate to really bring out the femininity in the dress, because you could easily pair this with a pair of sneakers because of the pockets and like the, you know, the ease of this dress. Okay, so now I'm ready to dive into my own closet, and I can safely say I do not own a structured dress like this, but I do own structured separates in a similar color. So that's what I'm gonna start my search with. Okay, so I have pulled out my vintage culottes, which are pleated. They have a little bit more flow and less stiffness than her dress, but they still come out with that nice clean structure on the bottom, which I think should work. And then I've got my Power of My People shirt, which has a really great structure to it as well. And they are in a nice monochromatic palette, definitely not gray, clearly, and yours doesn't necessarily have to be a neutral either. I also have this cream belt, my red shoes. I always worry that the red and cream will come off as a little bit too like Canadiana, but I don't think I have a choice. Got these little pearls from Ana Luisa. This next look is brought to us by Shuhei Nishiguchi. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that too much, but this is a fabulous look, and it can be easily converted between a warmer and a cooler season. So at the end I'll be showing you both sort of styles of looks that I was able to put together with this one. But let's start with the style vibe, which I think is very classic, timeless, elegant. I also want to say there's like a sharpness to it. I don't know if you can even use that as an adjective, but I'm gonna do it. Maybe it's polish. Maybe we say polish. Also, I think there's this wonderful element of just elegance and chic that really comes through in this. I think in terms of proportions, you know, the belt is at the midline, there's long sleeves on top and bottom, there's no overly dramatic volume, so the proportions, there's really not, you know, much aside from this beautiful harmonious balance. However, the silhouette, I think there is a little bit of a juxtaposition between the sharp lines of the blazer and the softness of that beret. And although the pants do have a nice sharp pleat in them, they are a little bit more relaxed in terms of the silhouette. So we've got some nice tension going on there. And when it comes to the styling hacks, clearly playing with color in the sense that we're talking about neutrals here is what I think makes this look so impactful. So he's got the gray and black as your primary pieces, and the black and white shirt underneath is almost passing off as gray. So we can call this kind of a monochromatic look underneath, and then he's bookending it and really grounding it with these awesome sharp black accessories. And he's added the sense of polish by tucking his shirt all the way in, adding a belt. I do think there is perhaps a little bit of a mix of styles in here though as well. The shoes can be, they look almost like a slipper loafer in a sense. So they add this great leisurely juxtaposition along with that sort of soft beret in opposition to that structured blazer and whole tailored look. Okay, so I'm gonna go with a beige monochrome palette underneath instead of the gray, because I'm gonna use my vintage pleated trousers, which are a lot like our inspiration image. I don't think you necessarily have to have like the exact vintage style pleated trousers. I think anything with a little bit of tailoring will do. And for the top, I don't have like a striped top or even a small printed top in that color palette. But what I do have is this. So it's this textured top that I think sometimes you can kind of interchange pattern and texture if you want to have a similar effect. It's not exactly even the same color, but it's kind of close to monochrome. You know, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm hoping that the contrast of the blazer is going to kind of smooth out those tones. I mean, you'll tell me if it is a total disaster. I do not own a beret. I do not own a black hat. I'm going to use this black tote. It doesn't have as much structure as his does, but it's got that kind of polished businessy vibe. And for the belt, I've chosen this thin secondhand rag and bone belt. I'm gonna use these shoes. They have a little bit of black, which is gonna tie it in. Believe it or not, I do not own a pair of black flats or even a black loafer. I seem to be missing some of the most practical footwear. I'm working on it. So that is what I have for you today. Let me know if you thought those looks were a hit or a miss in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it or if you learned something new, and hit subscribe if you haven't already. If you did like this video or the format of shopping your closet, then definitely check out the live studio session that I'm hosting on the 14th. All the info and details and ticket price is in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you in another slow fashion video or in the studio. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful week ahead. Ciao!